Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the first lecture, we discussed the last or the farewell sermon of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and some of the basic points of that. And in a nutshell, we can say that the life and the teachings of the Holy Prophet ﷺ is a guidance not only for the Muslim, but for the entire humanity. And being a Muslim, we have to follow Prophet ﷺ teachings, his traditions, without having any kind of doubt or credits in our mind. Because, and especially the last sermon, it teaches us how to lead a virtuous life, how to deal with the people of society, and how to do business. These are the three important sections of our life. So it is discussed with full of detail in a very elaborative manner. So we have to follow all these things in our respective lives. So dear students, now we are moving toward the vocabulary, the words which are given there at the end of the lesson. So I want that I should repeat these words quickly, and you should listen it, and then you should repeat it. You should revise it again and again, because for each word there are some synonyms or as well as antonyms are given, and these things you have to understand and you have to remember, because such words are asked in the ETA examination. So you should read it carefully. So let's go through it. It's on page number 5. Some words which are discussed in this passage are, the first one, that is apostle. Apostle means an ardent supporter of a cause, reform movement, messenger or preacher. Here the word I told, if you say ardent, A-R-D-E-N-T, ardent. It is the rule of the English that when a ra is followed by consonant sound, so it is not pronounced. So you should not pronounce here ra, but you should just pronounce it ardent. Matlab Rasul, Pegambar. Second, assent. Agreement as to a statement, proposal, acceptance, compliance, consent, and accord. Like manzuri ya manzoor karna. Another word is astray. Astray means out of the correct path or direction into error. MS, off the right course or track. मतलब ये है कि रास्ते से भटकना, गुमराह होना, गुमराह is a noun भी इस्तेमाल होता है, is a verb भी इस्तेमाल होता है. Beware means be cautious or wary of, be on one's guard, take heed, बाखबर होना, खबरदार होना, होशियार रहना. Capital, material wealth owned by an individual or business enterprise invested for production of further wealth. Sarmaya. Henceforth, from this time forward, from this time on, henceforward. यानी अभी से, आज से, इस वक्त से. Legitimate, lawful, legal, authentic, genuine, admissible, and valid. मतलब है कि जायज़, कानूनी या मतलब काबिल एहतिमाद. Murmur, a continuous low and distinct sound, humming, mumble, यानी बड़बड़ करना, गुरगुर करना, means that when someone is talking and you are unable to understand and you are unable to hear properly, so we say that he is murmuring. Another one is piety, dutiful devotion to God and observance of religious principles, to be pious, goodliness, piousness. Matlab taqwa, parhezgari. Now come to page number 6. Some other words are there. Another word is pilgrimage. Pilgrimage means a journey to a shrine or other sacred place. Means that when people, they are going to some sacred place in order to perform their important religious ceremony, religious duty. So we say it pilgrimage. मतलब है कि ज़ियारत हम कह सकते हैं, लेकिन being a Muslim we should say Hajj. Revelation means the act of disclosing something previously secret or obscure, God's disclosure of his purpose for mankind through the words of the human beings. Yani wahi, the message which is sent from Almighty God through angel to the human beings, and especially this message is sent to the prophets. जो हम कहते हैं इसको वही. Another word is righteousness. Righteousness means in accordance with accepted standard of morality, justice or uprightness, virtue or honesty. Niki, rastbazi, taqwa bhi aap keh sakte hain. Sermon, an address of religious instruction. मतलब है कि address, religious speech, khutbah. Thunder means a loud cracking or deep or rumbling noise. मतलब बादल की गिरज चमक. To abide by, to accept or submit to comply with, to put up with. To accept, मतलब कि पासदारी करना, abide by, मतलब we must abide by the rules and regulation. हमें कानून की पासदारी करनी चाहिए, उसको मानना चाहिए. To constitute, to make up, compose, to comprise, to set up, मतलब बनाना, मतलब बनाना या मतलब जोड़ना वगैरह. make up लेकिन बनाना, constitute means बनाना. वो आप बुक में है ना कि the true Muslim they constitute brotherhood. सच्चे मुसलमान जो है वो आपस में भाईचारा कायम करते हैं, कायम करना. Another word is to entrust. To entrust means to put into a care or protection of someone, to assign, to give custody of. हवाले करना, सुपर्द करना, किसी की कोई चीज़ किसी की तहवील में देना. To inflict, to impose something unwelcome such as pain, suffering, मतलब तकलीफ देना, अजियत देना, किसी को नुकसान पहुंचाना. And to prevail upon, it is a phrasal word. To prevail upon means to succeed in persuading or inducing, to gain mastery, to overcome, to persuade, to convince, to influence, किसी को कायल करना, आमादा करना. To reckon, to settle account with, to take into account, to calculate, to ascertain and to consider or regard. मतलब ये कि हिसाब किताब करना, किसी चीज़ का मतलब इस तरह जायज़ा या वगैरह लगाना. लेकिन reckon का दूसरा मतलब है to think, to think about something or to give opinion about something means that I feel reckon that I am going to get that job. यानी मेरा अंदाज़ा है या मुझे लगता है, मैं समझता हूँ कि मुझे ये जॉब मिल जाएगी. So dear students, these were the words and that I discussed, and now you should read these words thoroughly and try to understand it and try to install these words along with the synonyms in your mind. After this, now we are coming towards the comprehension, mean the questions section. So here in this video, I am going to discuss 3 questions. And the rest of the questions we will discuss inshallah in another video. So dear students, look at their question number 1 on page number 6. When and where did the Holy Prophet ﷺ deliver his last sermon? In the first lecture, I just give some important information that I asked that you should inculcate, you should assimilate those information directly in your mind. That when it occurred, where it occurred. See, so those things, those important information are asked in this question. So when, where, these two are the main points of the question. But here, being a student of 12th standard, you should not answer concisely, briefly, but you have to elaborate your answers. Means the length of your answer, it should not be less than 6 lines. 5-6 lines at least, you should write an answer. If you write it for 1 or 1.5 or 2 lines, so that is insufficient. So if there are less points, so then you can elaborate. You can make context for it, you can elaborate it a bit. So when and where, these 2 important things are asked. So this sermon was delivered on the 9th day of Dhul Hijjah, and 10 AH and 612 CE, and where it was delivered in the valley of Urena, which is situated in the Mount of Arafat in Mecca. Now this is not enough, because if you write these things, so almost you will cover 2 lines, but you have to elaborate it. Now this is things you should just add from your own side. To whom it was delivered? This sermon was delivered by the Holy Prophet. From the start you should also make context, like this sermon was delivered by the Holy Prophet ﷺ on the 9th day of Dhul Hijjah and 10 AH and 612 CE, and it was delivered in the valley of Urena, which was situated in the Mount of Arafat in Mecca. This sermon was delivered to 120,000 pilgrims. Now just a bit discuss what kind of crowd it was. So there was perfect silence among the crowd, and the Prophet ﷺ rode on a she-camel and delivered his last sermon, which is considered as a complete code of life. So this is the supporting information that I added, and I elaborated my question. So now for this you can get full marks. Now coming towards the second question, that is, whom did the Holy Prophet ﷺ ask to repeat the sermon sentence by sentence after him, and why? You must have remembered that in the first lecture I wrote a name, Rabba ibn Umayyah ibn Khalaf. So again a new question that is about him. So the Prophet ﷺ asked one of his followers, whose name was Rabba ibn Umayyah ibn Khalaf, who was known for having a loud voice. Now why? The answer of why. There was a crowd of approximately 120,000 pilgrims, and the Prophet ﷺ voice could not reach to all of them properly. So that's why the Prophet ﷺ asked Rabba ibn Umayyah ibn Khalaf to repeat the sermon sentence by sentence after him, so that it could reach to a large audience easily and properly. So you also answered to whom? To whom Rabba ibn Umayyah ibn Khalaf. And why? Because the Prophet ﷺ voice was not that much louder, which could reach a large crowd of 120,000 pilgrims. So that's why. So first of all, what you should do, you have to look at the questions very critically, find out the dominant ideas. In the dominant ideas, which will cover your answer. If then you see that the length is less, so then you should elaborate it. In the third question, it is said that state in your own words, what did the Holy Prophet ﷺ say about the sanctity of the life and the property of the Muslim brethren? The life and the property. We discussed this point in the first lecture. Sanctity means the state of being holy, the state of being important. यानी जो चीज़ अहमियत का हामिल होता है, जो चीज़ मुक़द्दस होती है. तो पैगम्बर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने brethren means the people of the same community, the people of the same doctrine, इन एक अक़ीदे के लोग, एक ही माशरे के लोग. तो उन्होंने मुसलमान भाइयों के माल और जायदाद के तक़द्दुस के हवाले से क्या कहा था? So if you go to the book, if you read the passage, so you will just get more information. The Prophet ﷺ said that the life and the property of every Muslim is as sacred as this day of 9th Dhul Hijjah, this place of Mecca. And he said that every Muslim should be a truly brother to every other Muslim. And true Muslims constitute brotherhood among each other. So these were a few points. And he also said that your life and your lives and property is a sacred trust among yourself until you appear before your Lord, and you will have to ask about your all worldly actions. And he also mentioned that return the goods to their rightful owners, and do not just do any dishonesty and any other kind of unlawful deed with the property of other people. So sanctity, regarding the sanctity, 2-3 points, I would like to explain it again. The Prophet ﷺ first said that the lives and the property of every Muslim is as sacred as this day. Which was the day? That was considered as a very sacred, यानी ये बहुत मुक़द्दस दिन तस्वुर किया जाता है इस्लाम की तारीख में, 9 day Abdul Hijjah and like the city of Makkah. And he also said that a true Muslims constitute brotherhood among each other, and you should return, and every Muslim, you should return your goods to the rightful owners, and you should not deal it with dishonestly. He also said about it that you should not hurt other people, and you should not be oppressed, and you should not be injustice. You should not do injustice to other human beings. And that final point is that he also said that if you have taken any kind of interest on loans, so henceforth it is forbidden and you should not take it. So all these things regarding the property, regarding the life, these things are mentioned over here. Okay, thank you.